Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a drugstore makeup tutorial, and this is the eye look that I came up with using my Wet n Wild palette, and I'll show you guys the palette in a second. So this is the Wet n Wild palette I got from Walmart. It's their new Naturel palette, and then I also picked up a Milani palette, and both palettes come with an applicator, and this is the color that struck me on getting this palette. And that also comes with a brush. The Milani one has like this cute transition color, which also drew me to that palette as well. So I picked up those two palettes, and I'm going to be doing two looks using this palette. The Milani palette look will come at a later date. So for my eyebrows, I wanted to use something different. I always use my NYX brow products, but I wanted to use my Maybelline Master Kajal eyeliner. So I used that for my brows, and it made the process really quick and easy to fill in my brows. So that's what I used on my brows. And then for my concealer, I use my NYX Contour Conceal and Correct palette. And I went in with one of the lighter shades to clean my eyebrows. And when I'm using shadows, I like to use a lighter concealer under my brow because it just counter out the discoloration on my brows, on my lid I mean. So I like to use a lighter foundation and then blend it out and, you know, make it match my skin tone. So I'm just doing that to both of my brows and then blending it out with my finger. For the top of my brows, I'm going to use my foundation. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless in one of their new shades, which is Mocha. And I'm just using that to clean the top of my brows. Then I'm going to take a darker shade of the concealer, and I'm going to use that to place on my lid, just so I'll have a good base for my eyeshadow. Then I'm going to also blend that in with my finger. Then I'm going to take my Maybelline, no, this is not Maybelline, this is my Loreal Truematch powder in the shade C9, and I just use a sponge to apply that to my lid space to, what am I doing? to set my lid. Then I'm just using a brush to just wipe away any excess that was on there. And then now for the palette, I'm going to take the light shade that my index finger is pointing to. I'm going to take that shade and apply that shade to my brow bone. Next, I'm going to go into the Milani palette, and then I'm going to take this orange shade, and that's going to be my transition color. I really love that a drugstore palette has a shade like this. Then with a clean blending brush, I just blended those two colors together, and then I just did the same thing to my other eye. Next, I'm going to go into that pretty brown burgundy shade and from the Wet n Wild palette, and I'm going to apply that to the outer corner of my eye and into my crease area. And you guys, this palette was really affordable. I got it at Walmart for about $5.64, I think. And I really like this color. So since I like that color so much, I decided to put it all over my lid, leaving the first part of my lid bare. Then I went in with the same palette, and I went in with that pretty gold shade. And like I said, the palette's really pigmented to be a drugstore palette. So I took that shade and I applied that shade over. I placed that shade on my entire lid. Then I took the pink shade next to it and I applied that in my inner corner. Then I'm going to take the black shade in the palette and I ran that through my lower lash line. And once again, like I said, this palette is really pigmented and I didn't have any fallout. Then I took the shade that was next to the burgundy color. It reminds me of, I think, the shade Blackheart from the Naked 3 palette. And I just applied that under the black. And then for my face, I used the same foundation that I used to clean up my brows, the top of my brows. So I just applied that over my face and I applied my eyeliner and mascara off camera. For my concealer, I used the same NYX palette. Don't remember the shades that I used, but I know I mixed two together. And I just applied that in the normal spaces where I apply it. Under the eye, the bridge of my nose, my forehead, cupid's bow, and under my cheekbones. Then I went ahead and blended everything out with my beauty blender. And then I'm going to set everything that I highlighted with my L'Oreal Truematch powder. So then I'm going to take the dark shade in that NYX contour palette, and I used a little applicator that came from one of the palettes, and I just used that to apply the concealer, and I applied that on my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, and whatnot. Then I'm going to take my pink beauty blender, which I've had for a really long time, haven't experienced nothing with it, anything bad with it. And I just used that to blend out my contour lines. To set the contour, I'm going to use my black Radiance face powder, and this one is in something Mahogany. And then for my bronzer, I use my new Real Technique blush and contour brush, and I applied that to my cheekbones. Then for my blush, I use my old faithful Milani Amore blush, and I applied that with the same brush. Ooh, that was a tongue twister kind of, to my cheek area. And then for my highlight, I've had this for a really long time. It's by Physicians Formula. I don't even know if they sell it anymore, but it was my first time using this, and I applied that to my cheekbones. I also applied it on the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, and a little the two sides of my forehead. And then for my lips, I use my Jordana Merlot lip liner, and I use that to fill in my lips. And then for my lipstick, I use Wet n Wild Coffee Buzz. And everything in this tutorial except the two palettes is things that I've already had.
Okay, you guys, so this is the finished look. Cruz, shh. So, you guys, this is the finished look. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you want to see more of these tutorials, then give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down in this comment section. And then also, if you haven't already, please subscribe if you want to see what look I create with this palette. So yeah, that's the look, and I think it came out really nice. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.